What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Dom and we are in my garden, in the back part of my garden. Today I am going to be planting out in these Dollar Tree containers that I have from last year. I planted bush beans in them last year, as well as some tomatoes, some dwarf tomatoes, peppers. I planted lots of stuff in there, flowers, but they've been sitting empty in the back half of my garden. And today I decided that I am going to plant some stuff in them. I have a few strawberries left over from if you watched my previous video where I planted about 350 strawberries. I did give away about 100, but I know that I wanted a container of strawberries, or two containers. I already have one up front from last year's strawberry plants, but I wanted two more, so I saved some so that I could do two more strawberry containers, and then the next container I'm going to be planting in is going to be bush beans. I have this big bag of bush bean varieties. I absolutely love growing bush beans, and if you were here yesterday, you know that I planted out 2 beds already of bush beans. I live in coastal South Carolina, zone 8B, and my last estimated frost is usually around April 2nd. I have looked up to the 15-day forecast, which goes up to about April 8th or 9th, and we do not have any frost in our near future all the way up until that date. Last year we did have a freak frost 2 weeks after our estimated frost date, but I like to gamble, and so I'm going to go ahead and plant some bush beans in these containers, and I already planted bush beans and some whole beans outside in my garden. So I have this bag of potting soil here that I got. When was this? I think yesterday or 2 days ago. And I have these stackable Dollar Tree containers, like I said, that I got last year. And I'm going to be filling them with soil. I also have all of so back there, that is my sweet potato slips. I have 2 trays of peppers out here getting some sun. That is the trays of cucumbers and zucchini and squashes I planted 2 days ago. I had my friend's daughters help me. And then I have all of these plants out here. And I have plants on top of my cars and at the side of my garage. It is very windy here, so I apologize in advance, but all my plants are outside getting sun because I am trying to get them good and ready for when it's time to plant them out. I've already opened this bag and up-potted some of my tomatoes in it, and so I don't know how much soil I'm going to be able to fill how much soil I'm going to have left to fill some of these containers, but I'm just going to go ahead and start filling them, and then we'll think about what I have later. Okay, I had enough soil to fill all 12 or 9 of these containers, and then I watered them in because the soil was dry. I also watered the strawberry starts. They've been sitting in my refrigerator since I planted the other 300 or so out, and so the roots were really dry, so I just went ahead and watered those as well. I have the containers sitting out, and I'm going to restack them, and I'm going to put 1 strawberry plant in each one of these holes, but then on top I'm going to put 1 in the middle, so that would make this have 10 strawberry plants, and I'm going to do that 2 times, which will turn into 20 strawberry plants. So I have my strawberry roots here, and if you didn't see my last video, you don't want to plant them lower than the crown right here. It's fine. What I told my kids when they were helping me, it's better to plant it too shallow than too deep. If you plant it too deep, the crown will rot and you won't get any strawberries. So it's fine if a little bit of roots are sticking up. So I'm just going to go ahead and make a hole and stick the roots in like that. I'm just going to continue that. Okay, I finished 2 trays of, or 2 towers of strawberries, and I still have a pack of 25 left. So I think I'm going to end up with doing 2 more towers of strawberries, because, and that will take up 20 strawberries, and then the other 5 I will find a spot for them in the garden. Because if I don't plant them in these containers, I have nowhere else to put them. As you know, that bed is full where I have my strawberries at, the rest of them. But I used all of the soil out of that bag, and I do have half a bag of this. I don't know if that would be enough to get another 3 tiers out of it, but I do have more of these containers. Because if you didn't know that, you can order Dollar Tree products by the case if they're not inside your local store, and have them sent to the store, and then you pick them up. And that's what I did when I wanted these containers last year when we were living in our RV and I had no space to garden and I wanted a garden. I ordered these by the case because they were not in my local Dollar Tree. They came with 32, and I've only used 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, half of them. So I know I have more inside of my house. Okay, so I actually did have enough soil in that bag, so now I have 4 3-tier containers of strawberries. So that's 40 strawberries, and then I was able to fill 2 more containers, and I'm going to be planting my bush beans in here. I only had 2 of these. All the rest of my containers are stacked 3-tier high, except for one over here that I had stacked with 4, and it blew over when it was not watered and it was really light. And so instead of having it 4, I'm going to take one of the tiers from the 4 and put it with these 2 to make 3 tiers, so that all of them will be 3-tier. They work really well if you're just looking for something cheap to have container garden and you have like limited space, but you can't stack them too high, and the plastic can easily break, and you have to water each tier. It's not like the green stalk where you just water at the top and it just waters it all for you. Okay, I just sorted through my bag and was looking at what kind of beans I wanted to plant it. And I found red beans. So this is the bush beans that I got from Seeds for Now, called Borlotti. It is red in color. And then I also found a Tongue of Fire. It's also a red bean. I had leftover seeds from last year, that dragon tongue bush beans, and then I had another bag of this Borlotti. So I'm going to use all of these seeds and plant this whole tower with red bush beans, and then the bottom tower would be I think herbs, because in that other container, like I was saying, that I'm going to add with this one, I think it has herbs in it, like either chives or cilantro, something like that. But I'm going to get this planted. Okay, so this is how I have the top. This is going to be the absolute top, so there's nothing going to be on top of this squishing it, so I planted beans all over it. And then I also planted beans in each side pocket. And I left the tag there so that I knew what bean was planted there, since there was no more in the bag. I did end up with one more bag that I couldn't fit, so I'm going to save that for later. But now I'm just going to go ahead and plant all of these, probably, just up to my finger. I don't know, the first indentation, maybe 1 inch. So a general rule is you plant it twice as deep as the seed is wide. So I'll plant it about 1 inch deep, but I'm not measuring. Okay, all of my containers are all done. I went ahead and grabbed the other containers. So we have some cilantro, some parsley, and some dill. And then we'll have the 2 tiers of bush beans. And we have our 4 containers of strawberries to match the one all the way at the front of my garden. And I have another one over there that has herbs in it. So altogether we have 3, 5, 6, 7, we have 8 of these 3-tier containers. So that is going to be all for today that I'm going to be doing out here. I'm going to start bringing in my plants that I had sitting out here and then get ready to go to the store. We've been having trouble with our ovens, so I'm going to go price some ovens with my girls, but they're filthy because they've been playing with mud patties. So we got to get them cleaned before we go. But thank you guys for hanging out with me, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.